So we've been in France for quite a while now, and we realized that we haven't done anything specifically French as of yet. So in this video, we're going to be taking you with us as we go to our local bakery, and we're going to be testing 5 traditional French pastries.
I'm so excited, and it's even snowing, guys. So we've got our pastries and we are so excited to taste these. We've also done a bit of research behind each of them, so we'll share that with you guys as we go along and as we taste each of them. So excited. They look amazing. But we just wanted to show you guys where we're sitting, because the lighting inside is really not great because it's snowing. So we're actually sitting outside on a cute little balcony here. And this is where we'll be doing the filming for today. Unfortunately, we don't have any fancy lighting equipment because we just don't have the space to carry that in our backpacks. But we're pretty happy with this setup for now, so let's get into it. Okay, so it's time for pastry number 1. Tarte pomme.
Right. What's pretty interesting about this tart. So, it is called, another name for it is tarte fruit, which is basically fruit tart, and this one is a apple tart at the moment. So the interesting thing about this, I got my diary here just so I get all the information correct. So this tart was originally discovered in the 1880s in a place called Centre Val de Loire, by 2 sisters, namely Stephanie and Caroline Tartin, at a hotel Tartin, 169 kilometers south of Paris. So these 2 sisters ran the hotel, and they were also the chefs for this hotel as well. So Stephanie was the main chef for this hotel. So one day she was overworked while she was busy making a traditional apple tart, as we know apple tart. But she actually drifted off and she ended up leaving the apples cooking in the butter and sugar for a little bit too long.
Wow.
So she smelt that the apples and the butter and sugar started burning. So in a rush, she threw over the prepared pastry on top of the apples. So it was basically a pan, then there was apples, and then there was pastry on top. So then she threw all of that over, and just to make double sure that it's all fine, she chucked it into the oven. After that, she took it out of the oven for some reason, and this is the reason for the discovery of this tart. She flipped it upside down. So it's basically an upside down apple tart. She served it to the guests loved it, and from there on, the tarte fruit, or the tarte tatin, was created.
Wow, what an interesting story. This looks really good, guys. And I just smelt it. Marek, you're going to be super stoked about this. I think that the filling in here is something called compote.
Oh, a little bit of compote.
Marek loves compote. It's basically like purified
it's like a
pureed.
cooked down pureed apple.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
Purified. Cheers.
Oh yeah, that's compote. Damn! That's a good way to start.
And if you look at the top, it's like there's little sliced pieces of apple.
Yeah.
But it's like soft and ooh, it's good.
That's very good. Very soft pastry. It's not, it's crumbly, but it's not like falling out your mouth crumbly, you know. It's just the right level of sweetness as well. Very, very good.
Very good. So number 1 is a winner.
Yeah, it's time for number 2.
So this tart is very similar to the first one. This is tarte aux fruits. And basically, it's the same, Marek just called it the same family of tart.
It's the same tart family. The only difference with this one is that it's got raspberries on compared to the apple of the first one. So basically this tart family, it's made up of the same things, but the only difference is the toppings that they use. So this one's got raspberries, the other one's got apples, but you can use oranges, you can use apricots, figs, any type of fruit basically.
One thing I will point out is there's no compote equivalent for raspberries. So the base here is just pastry or like.
But also I believe it's called a raspberry coulis, I think that's the correct terminology.
Like
the
juicy stuff. The juicy
like
raspberry juices.
syrup beneath
the
syrup. I think it's a raspberry coulis.
Do you want to go for it? Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Tart. It's like tart and then like sweet.
Those raspberries pack a little punch. It's good though.
Are you sure about that?
It does balance the sweetness nicely though, but it is it's just making my mouth water.
I like it.
Oh boy.
You are just working your way through these pastries, my love.
Time for number 3. So this next tart that we have is what they call a Chibourst, as far as I know.
So good.
So this one, from what the research suggests, was created in 1847 by a patisserie in Paris called Monsieur Chibourst. So basically what it is it's caramelized apples on a sweet, crumbly base, which is then topped off with a combination of thick custard and Italian meringue.
One thing I will say that I've noticed in lots of the bakeries here is there's a lot of fruit with the pastries. I don't think that's something I've really seen in South Africa. Ooh, that looks good. That's pink.
Looks good on the outside, but inside, look at this. Can you see that properly?
Are you sure that's apple? Yo, that looks good.
It's supposed to be apple. Maybe we got, I think maybe we got the strawberry one. So then it is called a fraise Chibourst.
Oh, it smells so good. Cheers. Marek, what is this?
Yo.
I would call this inside like fluffy, like a cloud. This is so good.
If you can see that.
How did they do this?
So it's a meringue on the inside that hasn't entirely set yet. So it's still pretty like soft and velvety. And it seems like here on top it's like baked sugar type of thing. So it's gone like all nice and caramelly brown on top.
Yo, guys.
With some strawberry.
This
There are
good.
apples inside. Strawberries and apples with meringue. And the caramel
I
on
would
top.
say this is my favorite so far. Yo, this is good. And I will say, when we were picking out the pastries, and I saw this one, and I've been looking at it ever since we came back, I've been the most excited to try this one, and it has not let me down.
It's such a unique taste as well. You just have like crumbly pastry, and then you have the tartness of the strawberries and a little bit of apple. Oof. And then just above that you have that velvety soft, not quite set yet meringue, and then you have the caramel on top of that, and it's just, ridiculous.
I've never tasted anything like that. That is really good.
It's very nice.
Really, really good.
Okay. All right, time for number 4.
Oh, we are such schmucks. The camera stopped recording for like a minute, so we're going to quickly tell you the background information for the Éclair.
So the Éclair, or the Éclair as you pronounce it in French, was created in France in the 19th century. Now there's no specific date given for it, but it fell somewhere between the 1800s and the 1850s. So an Éclair is basically just a choux pastry that is filled with either whipped cream, custard, mousse, or Chibourst cream, as we've tasted previously. But let's get back to that tasting. Excuse the bite marks.
So good.
As you can see, there's like a little bit of chocolate mousse on the inside. This is ridiculous.
It's so good. Mousse is one of my favorite desserts. So mousse in a pastry is just like, damn.
Definitely, the bakeries back at home didn't make them nearly as good as these ones. This is what they're supposed to taste like. So the crust is pretty firm, but it's not firm that like you have that crunch when you bite into it, you know. It's hard, but it's also very soft and light at the same time. That was pretty good. Very happy with that. But it is time for the one with the most interesting story out of the lot. Let's bring on number 5.
So, of course, we couldn't do a French pastry tasting video without featuring this little guy right here, and I'm sure a lot of you will recognize the croissant.
And this one has got the most interesting out of the lot by far. So, I don't know how many of you actually knew this. I know I didn't know it. I don't know how many people actually know it, but a croissant was actually created in the 13th century in Austria. So, the croissant wasn't actually called a croissant at that stage. It was called a kipfel back then. So, in the 13th century, they created it. French people then went over to Austria, tasted this kipfel, really enjoyed it, brought exactly the same recipe, the same method of production back from Austria to France, and turned it into the crescent shape that we now know a croissant as. So the croissant was only officially recognized as such in the 1850s, which is a full 500 years later after the creation of the kipfel. So if you're interested in how to make a croissant, it is basically layers of pastry that has been layered with butter, rolled and then folded many times. It's a proper labor of love to make croissants. And I remember the one time we were thinking like, you know, let's try and make a croissant for ourselves. And so we watched this one video. I'll link it down in the description below. But it is intense to make a croissant, and it's much easier to just go and buy them from your local bakery.
Don't know how well we're cutting it.
Oh, there you can see all the layers.
Yummy.
So you can see there. So all of these lines that you can see are all the different layers, and you can see exactly how many times this thing has had to be rolled to get it to this level.
Cheers. Like flavor-wise, obviously the other pastries have got loads of flavors and they're complex, but the croissant, it's just a classic, you know? It's just a classic, and it's so good. My love for croissants was born in my younger years when my dad used to go on business trips. I'm pretty sure it was to the UK. And he would come back with like these tins, and like you would open the tin and it would fold out into a croissant basically. I don't know if I'm remembering it correctly. I feel like I need to look it up. But it was something like that, and then he would bring those from the UK, and like, oh, that was so good. Even though it was from a tin, it was still so good. It's weird. I don't know if I've ever told you that story. Yeah. Thinking of croissants in tins is a bit of a strange concept, but it was like the raw pastry. Then you put it in the oven and then cook it. It was really good. Side note, if you've been seeing anything coming across the screen like that, it's literally snow, guys. It's snowing while we're sitting out here. But luckily it's over there, so we're not getting snowed on currently. Okay, so I can't give the like first, second, third, fourth, fifth. But what I can say is my two favorites were the Éclair and the Chibourst. And of course the croissant, like, it's a no-brainer. I just love croissants.
And my favorite will definitely be the Chibourst. Just the layers there, the delicacy, delicacy, how delicate all the flavors were. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it definitely blew us away. I would say of the three that I mentioned, probably the Chibourst as well. Like, really, really good. We hope you guys enjoyed this pastry adventure with us. We loved tasting all of these. I cannot tell you how excited I was setting out this morning on our way to the bakery to get these pastries. So thank you for watching our video, and we hope you enjoyed it.
If you got value out of this video and learned a thing or two about the different pastries from France, don't forget to smash that like button. Leave us a comment down below as well if you'd be keen to try any of these pastries and which one you think would be your favorite. And also subscribe to our channel as well so that you can join in for our travel budget adventures and get travel budget tips moving forward. And we'll see you guys back this coming Tuesday. So I realized that we've been in France for quite a while now, and we haven't actually done anything specifically
Again.